Yo, you are now rocking with the best. This is the Top 5 Dead or Alive podcast with Ali K. Jerome and Kelly Brock. Let's get it.
Yo, what up, what up? This is Ali K. Jerome. I'm your host for the Top 5 Dead or Alive podcast, coming to you live from the planet of Brooklyn. Now, just to start things off, I just want to say this is not the first official episode, as you will. This is just like a prelude, or I don't want to say prequel, but you know what I mean, like a little insight or interview, or like back in the days when they used to have those previews for the Saturday morning cartoons that was about to come on the ABC and NBC did not. Now, granted that this is in the 80s, so anybody in their 20s that's listening to this, or in their teens, back in the days, that's what we used to have. We used to have something called Saturday morning cartoons that we used to watch on Saturdays as kids. Alright, Google it. You know what I mean? Get your Googles ready for a lot of shit that is said on here. Alright, now I ain't even properly introduced myself. Like I said, my name is Ali K. Jerome. I am a writer. I am an artist from the planet of Brooklyn. I'm a man of a certain age, yes. In his 40s, you would say. I guess you would say that. I guess I gotta say that. But anyway, and this is just basically the Top 5 Dead or Alive podcast. Top 5 Dead or Alive podcast is where we talk about everything from hip hop to music. When I say hip hop, I mean the culture. When I say music, I mean everything. Alright, art, what they would consider nerd culture, sci-fi, all that, comics, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're gonna be covering on this thing. But the thing is, we're gonna have it on like a little rating system. So, I don't know. What would your top 5 Dead or Alive cartoons from the 80s be? What would your top 5 Dead or Alive best R&B groups from the 90s be? What would be your top 5 Dead or Alive rappers of all time? And such and such, and such and such. And that's pretty much going to be the conversation. Me and my co-host, Lamar Callahan. You know what I mean? We're going to be discussing these things, and along with many other people, you know what I mean, that we should be so fortunate to have on our show. And that's what the premise is going to be, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm a writer, I'm an artist. Just released my first novel, me and my partner in grind, Lamar Callahan. We wrote a book called The Kickin' the Kids Enter the Rapscallion. And it's, I guess you could say a young reader's book, but it's like saying Star Wars is a young moviegoer's movie. It's for everybody. And pretty much that's what the book is. It is. It's for everybody. But, you know, we'll get into that another time. This ain't about the book. This is about the damn podcast. Know what I mean? So, yeah, man. That's the premise. Basically, it's top 5 Dead or Alive things that we find interesting for the most part. So to start it off, I guess I figured, what is the top 5 Dead or Alive podcast that I like? You know what I'm saying? And I had to think about it. It did take a little moment for me to kind of figure out what I would feel, because, I don't know about you guys, but a lot of people I know that's now getting into podcasts, wasn't into podcasts, maybe no more than a year or so ago. There's a lot of people, especially in our community. You know what I'm saying? You know what community I'm talking about. but a lot of people in my community not up on podcasts. And a lot of them are, slowly starting to get into it as another form of content. You know what I mean? It is another form of media. It is another way of getting information. You know what I'm saying? And that's definitely something that all of us should be up on. You know what I mean? So, I had to sit and think about it, and I was like, all right, I came up with my little list. So, this is going to be the first somewhat official list, the top 5, blah, blah, blah. You know what it is on this podcast. The first podcast I really got into, now that I think about it, it was, I'm pretty sure it's the same for a lot of people out there. It was the Joe Rogan Experience. You know what I mean? Joe Rogan, if you don't know, he's a stand-up comedian first and foremost. He been doing that since the early 90s, if I'm not mistaken. He had a show called News Radio. He did The Man Show. He did Fear Factor, you know what I mean? Sellout tours, all that shit. But his podcast is just conversation with interesting people. He'll have everybody from Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's an astrophysicist, to fucking Everlast, you know what I mean? From House Pain and shit, you know what I mean? Different comedians and shit like that. He had great episodes with Charlie Murphy on there. That was amazing, you know what I mean? So, great show, you know what I mean? That's the one that really got me locked into this genre of podcasting, you know what I mean? So that's pretty much my top one. Another one that I found out through him is the Church of What's Happening Now with Joey Diaz, who's another comedian, a friend of his, of Joe Rogan's, matter of fact, you know what I mean? Funny podcast, Cuban brother, funny as fuck, you know what I'm saying? And it's basically, his podcast is basically like his life you know what I mean? Like every episode is about his life pretty much. You know what I'm saying? But check it out. You know what I mean? You can't explain Joey Diaz. You just have to experience. Pause. If you play that game. Alright? Anyhow. Drink Champs. Yo, Nori is killing it right now. You know what I mean? Nori's and the bug thing about Nori is I met Noriega years ago. I used to work as if you're from New York, if I haven't said it already, we're in the planet of Brooklyn, alright? Brooklyn, New York. Alright, and so anyway, years ago I used to work for Times Square Business Improvement District. It's basically like when you go to the Times Square area, there's guys around there that might be dressed in uniform. Public safety, basically. And it's their job to, you know what I mean, be the eyes and ears of Times Square. They work in conjunction with the police and all that stuff. So I used to do that years ago. This is like, I say like 02, 03. Around that time. So mind you, around that time, my wife then, she was an aspiring musician. So we used to, you know what I mean? We used to make music together, whatnot. She was a dope rapper, dope songwriter, dope, you know what I mean? So we used to, do please listen to my demo thing if you can. And I you know what I mean? Being that I worked in Times Square at the time, I'd run up on people. You see people all the time. I ran into Wyclef, handed him one. You know what I'm saying? I ran into Nori, and I handed him one. And just how he is on that podcast is exactly how he is in fucking person. Same personality, mad, like animated, but funny, mad, you know what I mean? Cool or whatever. So I he was gracious enough to accept the the demo CD that I was handing to him, and on some please listen to my demo shit. You know what I mean? Shit, gotta take them shots at the dark. You never know. Suffice to say, neither one of them motherfuckers hit me up. You know what I'm saying? About my aspiring then wife as a rapper, but she made it into the music business. Congratulations to her. Anyway, in a different aspect, more in the behind scenes, but you know, that's another story. But so pretty much that dude is what you see on that show, and I met him in that small capacity in conversation. That's him. So that's what's kind of cool about that show. You know what I mean? I think that's what's gearing the popularity. You know what I mean? And really shooting that. But you know, that's that show. Oh yeah, Juan Epstein, man, with Peter Rosenberg and Cypher Sounds. That was a dope show, man. I think it was like if I'm not mistaken, like the first real hip hop podcast on iTunes at the time. You know what I'm saying? So salute to them. They're definitely pioneers, man. Definitely pioneers. They were the first, man, and I think they got a show recently. You know, mind you, this is I'm recording was it January 2nd, 2018? So I think they had a show recently. Like a one ep live type thing. You know what I mean? I wish I could have been able to go if it hasn't already been done. I gotta look into that. But anyway, yeah, amazing podcast. They stopped. I think Rosenberg got his own thing. Syph got his own thing. What have you. But dope show. Dope interviews, man. Dope hip-hop interviews. You know what I'm saying? I think that's 4. Joe Rogan, Drink Champs, Church of What's Happening Now, One App. Oh, yes. And number 5. Number 5. And, number 5, that one was, number 5, man. It's the reason why I named this show the Top 5 Dead or Alive Podcast. Because that was like the question that this brother used to ask his guests, you know what I'm saying, if they were rappers or whatever, DJs or, you know what I mean, people of notoriety in the hip hop scene. And this is, this brother, Reggie Osse, former entertainment lawyer, turned like podcast god, like the Godfather, especially in this hip hop genre, man. His show, the Combat Jack Show, was a show that I would tune in like I didn't even care. There's very few podcasts that I listen to that I don't check for their guests. I just tune in. Joe Rogan is one. I'll just tune in just because I know it's going to be great conversation. And the Combat Jack Show was the same damn thing. I knew it was going to be great conversation. And the crazy thing is to listen. I haven't listened to it since the first episode or what have you, but I listened to it around the time when they had Combat, Combat, DJ Ben Hameen was there, Just Blaze was there, Dallas Penn was there, Premium Pete, A-King. Like, it was mad people on the show, and they would have like little, you know what I mean, like little segments, like brown and yellow, what's the race of that fellow, whatever shit that was. I mean, it was crazy back then. This is, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, maybe more than that, I'm not sure. And then to see it grow and see the way that he molded the show into some like real, like hip hop, like damn, I don't even know to equate the show, man, but it was like so like that integrity I think that the Source magazine had at one time when they said you got the 5 mics, then you were crowned king. in my opinion, this that integrity that the Source magazine had once upon a time until they end up doing some fuck shit. I think that's what Combat Jack show had eventually morphed into. Even with, you know what I mean, whatever problems he had with, you know, if you're familiar with the show, the problems he had with Premium Pete or, you know, Dallas Penn leaving, you know what I mean? Like, those dudes, they really did add the flavor to that show, especially Dallas Penn. Cool dude, man. Met him mad cool. Met him maybe on more than one occasion, and, you know, homeboy probably was like, I don't know who the fuck this dude is, but face looked familiar, you know what I mean, in my regard. But he still, every time, was mad cool, mad gracious. You know what I mean? I met Ben Hameen, you know what I mean, mad cool dude. I met Premium Pete, mad cool brothers, man. And they all amazing talents in their own right, coming from that one show, the Combat Jack show. And Combat Jack being the, you know what I'm saying, the RZA of that whole thing. It was amazing for him and brother Chris Morrow to create the Loudspeakers Network from that. You know what I'm saying? That shit is inspiring, my dude, my lady, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is inspiring, and it's all from the love of this thing that we call hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So, I just want to take, you know, shout out to Combat Jack, his family, his friends, my condolences. But that was the show that really, you know, kind of gave me the inspiration to do this thing here. But, you know, but also we got honorable mentions as well. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The Champs podcast, I don't think that's on anymore. That's with Neil Brennan. You know what I'm saying? If you're familiar with Neil Brennan, you know that that's the cat that along with Dave Chappelle created the Dave Chappelle show. You know what I'm saying? Stand-up comedian, him and Moish Kasher. I know I'm butchering that name. They had an interesting podcast called The Champs. If I'm not mistaken, that's what it's called. And then the theme of that show is two white guys. All they do is interview black guests. How the fuck can you not like that fucking concept? That's amazing. I be listening to the fucking no shots at Joe Rogan. No shots. But my nigga, god damn, could you have more black people on there? Shit, nigga, we like MMA too. Shit. Pardon me. I'm getting a little emotional. Cause I love that show. Fuck, my nigga, damn. You know what I'm saying? Get Ari Spears, TK Kirkland, one of them niggas up there. Put Charlemagne on it. Somebody holler at this nigga. Put the next, you know what? You know who you can have on that show? That'd be dope. You know what I'm saying? Another honorable mention, the Beige Phillips show, Dante Nero, Crown Heights brother. And you know what? Before I go into Dante Nero, Combat Jack, Crown Heights brother, salute. When I met him, it was in Crown Heights, and I happen to be from Crown Heights. But anyway, Beige Phillips show with Dante Nero, amazing for brothers on some relationship shit. My nigga, that show is awesome. You know what I'm saying? If you feeling like you need to, as they say, get your balls back, listen to that show and go to the archives, my nigga. You know what I mean? Dante Nero, a dope ass comedian. You know what I'm saying? Used to roll with Patrice O'Neal, the late great Patrice O'Neal comedian, back in the days when they used to do a show called the Black Phillips Show. You know what I'm saying? And he morphed it into the Beige Phillips Show, and it's a lot of game. I don't even say game, man. It's just fucking, love is a battlefield, like motherfucking, Pat Benatar said, man. And that shit is like fucking military strategy when it comes to these motherfucking hoes. I'm kidding. I'm playing. Alright? Not these motherfucking hoes, but these motherfucking bitches! Playing again. Anyway, yeah, man. Beige Phillips Show, Star Talk, Neil deGrasse Tyson, dope show, Astrophysicists, if you're into that science shit like I am, motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And there's other shows that ain't even really podcasts, like 5150 Corey Holcomb. That show is hilarious on YouTube. I watch that show religiously, my man. You know what I mean? Breakfast Club, of course, DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. That goes without saying. Everybody knows about that shit, you know what I mean? But I love the fact that, for the most part, you know what I mean, above all this whole list shit, I love that, our people are getting into this form of content. It's entertainment. You know, motherfuckers ain't just watching TV no more. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I started really getting to this art of conversation and listening to people talk. I listening to Open Line, you know what I'm saying, with Bob Slade and Bob Pickett and Brother Entume, as he would say, you know what I'm saying? And there's another show before that with Brother Minister Muhammad from the mosque in Manhattan, Mosque number 7, I believe. But dope shows that used to come on KISS back in the day. Now I think they're still on, one of them on still BLS. I think Rev Al got one, you know what I'm saying? I think there's another one too. I think Reverend Jesse Jackson got one, you know what I'm saying? But that's how I really got into the art of conversation and listening to talk radio. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm like addicted to the shit. I just want to hear people talk and talk to people. And that's the whole point of this show. So with that being said, salutes. You know what I mean? I'll talk to you soon, my brother Lamar Callahan. You know what I mean? This is just the prelude into the actual whatever. I don't know what the fuck. I need some goddamn water. I know that much for sure. And salute, Brooklyn. Stand up. You know how we do. Warheads all day. Alright, 89s for life. Peace.
This is the Top 5 Dead or Alive Podcast with Ollie K. Jerome and Kelly Rock.